top, left.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Dry Fire Tips. Sorry in advance for the clickbaity title, but what I really meant with that title was not enough dry fire in relation to the amount of live fire that I'm doing. Now, I've heard a lot of really good competition shooters and other people say if you do too much live fire and not enough dry fire, you'll find yourself starting to develop a flinch. And I believe it's probably true for them, but I never really found it to be true for myself. Now, to be honest, I had never really tried it. I had never tried only doing live fire practice. But long story short, I had a lot of stuff going into my personal life last month. I had to take some time off. Didn't have a lot of time to make a Dry Fire Tips episode last month or much time for my own practice. So what time I did have, I was doing pretty much only live fire. And what ended up happening is I started to develop a really bad flinch that I was having a lot of trouble with. And when I say I'm not at the top of my game, no, I was at the bottom of my game for a little while there. I had been shooting the worst I had ever shot before, and I knew it wasn't sight picture, was pretty sure it wasn't only trigger control. I was pretty dang sure it was a flinch. And when I was able to get back to work a little bit, I started doing more dry fire, started doing daily dry fire. Actually avoided doing any live fire practice for about 2 weeks and did only dry fire practice. And then I went back out to the range and I found that flinch had worked itself out, had disappeared. So there's two tricks that I use to get rid of my flinch. The one is just regular dry fire practice, and we're gonna do a little bit of that here in a minute. And the other one is what's called a ball dummy drill. You do that at the live range. We're gonna head out to the live range. We're gonna show you how to do this just in case you've never seen it before. But I found both of these, just doing these very specifically, I was able to work out my flinch in really a matter of only about a week, week and a half, and get back to shooting at least as well as I should be shooting for as much practice as I've been doing. So for the dry fire practice that you're gonna use to get rid of your flinch, it doesn't matter a whole heck of a lot what type, what specific drill that you're doing for dry fire, because when you're talking about getting rid of that flinch, you're just building that muscle memory to have a smooth, straight back trigger press, good grip, good sight picture, without the distraction of having a controlled explosion in front of your face. Because believe it or not, humans don't like having a controlled explosion in front of their face.
Left, center, bottom, top, left, right, bottom, bottom. Drill complete.
All right. And it's really just that simple. You're just building those reps without the distraction of that controlled explosion in front of your face. You still want to have good sight picture, good trigger control, good grip, good stance, all that stuff. Because if you start slacking off on those, then you're just building bad habits. But there's really not too much special to it. I will go ahead and throw this drill up into the laser community, so you can go ahead and download and shoot it. Again, this isn't really specifically meant to work on any one thing. It's just kind of a fun little drill to do. And I was using it today as a demonstration for how to use dry fire practice to help work out a flinch. Let's go ahead and head to the live range. All right, we're out at the live range now. We're going to be doing a ball dummy drill. I didn't come up with a ball dummy drill. I don't know who did. Probably nobody knows who did. It's been around for quite some time. But the basic idea is you're going to mix some snap caps. That's basically inert ammo, if you will. It's not actually going to go bang. It's just going to go click in with our live ammo in a magazine. How we're going to be doing it, we've got 6 plates with little dots on them. We're going to have 6 live rounds mixed in with 4 to 6 snap caps, and it's going to be kind of random. And what that's going to allow you to do is treat those dry fire, those snap cap rounds, just like you would live rounds, because you don't know for sure if it's going to recoil or not. It's very good for both working on recoil anticipation as well as identifying issues with recoil anticipation, seeing if you do have a flinch. Now, chances are I do have a little bit of a flinch today, but that'll be good for demonstration purposes. Ooh. All right, you could definitely see where I had some flinch on a lot of those shots there. Generally speaking, I felt I had just a general tighten flinch. It wasn't jerking down or anything like that. The general tighten flinch, ooh, that's a difficult one to work out. And most shooters will tell you that it's just a constant battle when it comes to recoil anticipation. But if we look at our targets, I'm really not too unhappy with my hits. I do wish that they were definitely a little more center. I think that grip tightening is tending to throw them up and just a little bit left sometimes. I think over here, honestly, I think that was probably straight trigger control. But not too bad, because at this range, what we're going for, and we're only about 15 yards or so from the targets, we're not just trying to hit the plates. You know, we're talking slow fire here. We should be able to put rounds right on top of those dots. And you can see most of them are on the dots, but I would like them to be more centered. So this is a great drill that, along with regular dry fire practice, will help you not only work past your recoil anticipation issues, but also diagnose them and help you keep them in check. Because like I said, it's kind of a constant battle for most shooters. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Dry Fire Tips. Be sure to drop us a like and subscribe. And if you got any questions, comments, or suggestions, feel free to throw them down in the comments section. And until next time, train safe, train smart, and train often. Having to move backwards, and all of a sudden they'll turn like that. And right there, I'm breaking the 180. Another place where I see it get, and it's very, very simple to slip right off that trigger guard and right onto the trigger. And that's probably the biggest thing to consider, is that you're going to want to get that finger even a little bit further away from that trigger.